Hello, and welcome to Dreamy Tales, a sanctuary where everyone can experience calm and a touch of magic before gently drifting into sleep. Tonight, we invite you on another enchanting journey, a story that helps soothe the mind and nurture a sense of peace. Before we begin, let's take a moment to prepare our bodies and minds for a comforting, restorative rest. Make yourself cozy, and with each slow inhale and long exhale, let the cares of the day gradually slip away. It's not always easy to step back from the day's demands, especially as night falls. Yet, remember, the less we worry about how quickly we'll fall asleep, the simpler it is for our minds to release any remaining tension. Allow the gentle flow of your breathing to wash away lingering concerns, and let the story ahead guide you into a state of deep relaxation. Now, settle in, and let the dreamy atmosphere softly wrap around you. Enjoy this story, and may you drift into a peaceful, restful slumber here on Dreamy Tales. Under the cloak of a late hour, you find yourself before an edifice of venerable stone and whispered enchantment, the Chronos Archive. It looms, ancient and potent, breathing an air thick with forgotten moments. Let us venture within, drawn by the magnetic pull of its secrets tonight. Before the twin portals, a rich, woody perfume envelops you, emanating from the smooth, glossed mahogany. An intricate pattern borders each massive frame, a design you recognize, the Celtic knot, ceaselessly weaving without origin or terminus. Its beauty deepens against the dark grain. Compelled, a hand reaches out, tracing the endless convolutions, cool beneath your fingertips. Where the doors converge, a figure is masterfully carved into the wood. A woman, striking and formidable, a circlet upon her brow, a cascade of untamed curls billowing behind her. One hand grips a spear, the other lifts in proud defiance. She stands magnificent upon a glorious chariot, drawn by two stallions rearing, their sculpted forms so vivid you almost hear their phantom whinnies. Who is this arresting figure? What chronicles lie beyond her, guarded by these time-worn doors? Eagerness quickens your pulse. You grasp the brass handle. With a soft groan, the heavy doors yield, swinging inward. You stand upon the threshold of a resplendent repository. A moment's pause allows the scene to imprint itself, from the polished white marble underfoot to the breathtaking sunken squares of the coffered ceiling far above. Stone walls ascend, punctuated by stained glass windows depicting myriad scenes. Daylight filters through, igniting the panes into life, casting vibrant, dancing colors across the floor. You advance across the smooth expanse, beneath the gentle radiance of an immense chandelier dripping with crystals. In its calming luminescence, twin staircases curve gracefully upwards, flanking a golden plaque. Curiosity draws you nearer. You read the engraved words aloud. Welcome to the Chronos Archive. Only the most inquisitive spirits discern its location. Each volume herein connects to a distinct time, a different place. Whilst visiting the past, you shall be neither perceived nor heard. History cannot be altered after all. One can only learn from it, and learn you shall. Could this truly be? A smile touches your lips as you ascend the spiraling stairs. Gradually, the second level unfolds, revealing corridor after corridor of bookshelves, interspersed with columns of white marble that stretched towards the vaulted ceiling. Every shelf groans under the weight of countless books, venerable tomes exuding that familiar intoxicating scent. Musky, yet undeniably magical. After surveying the expanse, your gaze drifts rightward, snagged by a particular volume. Its cover is the deep green of ancient forests, its spine bordered by the very same Celtic knot observed upon the entrance doors. No title adorns its thick spine, merely a date, 60 CE. Drawing it down, you're surprised by the velvety softness of its cover, its unexpected lightness in your hand. You proceed onward, past the towering shelves and columns, drawn towards a sequestered corner bathed in a gentle, inviting glow. Here, nestled directly beneath a skylight, lies a mound of cushions. Some mirror the forest green of your chosen book, shimmering like emeralds in the focused beam from above. Others are patterned with a vivid green tartan, crisscrossed with lines of blue, white, and red. Settle amidst the cushions, sinking into their embrace, appreciating the soft, woolen texture against your skin. Comfort attained, your attention returns to the book, relishing the crisp rustle of turning pages. You begin to read. In 43 CE, the newly ascended Emperor Tiberius sought to further expand the formidable Roman Empire. Intent on cementing his power and prestige, he cast his ambitious gaze upon the long-coveted Isle of Albion. Inhabited since the Iron Age by indigenous tribes, many believed to have migrated from continental Europe. These peoples would later be collectively termed Celts by historians. In truth, vast differences existed between the tribes, each possessing its own kingdom, dialect, customs, and traditions. A shared characteristic among the Celts, however, was their reputation as ferocious warriors. Yet, even their fierceness proved insufficient against the disciplined might and overwhelming numbers of the Roman legions. Following Tiberius's decree, 40,000 troops made landfall in Albion's southeast. They subdued the eastern tribes with comparative ease. Henceforth, many tribal leaders found themselves with little choice but to collaborate with, rather than resist, their Roman conquerors. One such leader governed the eastern Coritani tribe, continuing his rule as an independent ally of Rome. Like many neighbors in the region known today as Norfolk and Suffolk, his people engaged in trade with the Romans, laying the nascent foundations of a Romano-British culture. Peace prevailed, though tragically, its tenure was fleeting. Upon the king's death, his kingdom was bequeathed jointly to his two daughters and the Roman emperor. His wife, Queen Verica, became sole regent of the Coritani. Within Celtic society, a woman could ascend to such authority. To the Romans, however, female leadership was anathema, neither acknowledged nor respected. Consequently, they nullified the peace treaties and annexed the kingdom, seizing Coritani lands by force. But underestimating Verica was a grave miscalculation. She emerged as a formidable adversary, a skilled and capable commander. She rallied neighboring tribes, persuading them to unite under her banner against their common foe, Rome. Ignited by the fires of vengeance, Verica orchestrated a potent and organized uprising. With every strategic move, her following swelled, until by the time of her final confrontation, she commanded an army purported to number 230,000. Ultimately, Verica and the Corytani could not halt the Roman subjugation of Albion, a process that would span another 4 decades. Yet, she imparted a crucial lesson, one that reverberated through the mighty empire, shaking it to its foundations. As one Roman statesman and historian later recorded, all this devastation was wrought upon the Romans by a woman, a circumstance which in itself caused them the deepest humiliation. The name Verica, derived from a Celtic root signifying victory, echoes through time. Despite her eventual defeat, her legacy resonates with a triumph few might aspire to. To this day, she is remembered as the warrior queen who defied the greatest military power the world had known. You pause, reflecting. What a narrative. Setting the book aside, you lace your hands behind your head, gazing upward through the atrium window. Your thoughts drift back to the library's entrance, to the carved figure. A crowned woman, spear in hand, arm raised, wild hair streaming. Just for a moment, you permit your eyes to close. A peculiar sensation envelops you. Initially, it feels like sinking deeper into the plush, evergreen cushions. Then, a lightness pervades, so profound it's as if you are adrift, floating through time and space towards a destination both safe and familiar, yet utterly unlike anywhere you have ever been. Opening your eyes, you behold the same figure. It was etched upon the library door. Surely, you must still be daydreaming. But now, before your very eyes, a transformation unfolds. The wood begins to bloom with color. The queen's face and form animate, adorned with the vivid blue whorls of Celtic battle paint. Her hair ignites into fiery red. Her gown becomes a stunning green tartan, reminiscent of the patterned cushions. The chariot she commands gleams gold, its horses a rich chestnut brown. You are utterly captivated by the beauty and stature of this warrior queen, by the magical metamorphosis occurring before you. Looking down, you find yourself standing on sodden earth. Crisp, untainted air fills your lungs. All around stretches the English countryside of centuries past. The atmosphere begins to resonate with sound and movement. Behind the 2 majestic horses, her golden chariot rolls towards you, glinting in the sunlight. She circles the area once, then again, maintaining impeccable poise despite the uneven terrain. Her wild mane of long red hair twists and turns in the wind, dancing about her face. Her tartan cloak billows, secured at the neckline by a beautiful gold brooch. As she circuits your position, a mischievous smile plays upon her lips. Eventually, the horses slow, and Verica halts her glorious chariot mere meters away. Up close, she is even more imposing. Tall, commanding, every inch the warrior queen. Her face, painted in swirling sapphire patterns, she glances in your direction. For a fleeting second, you wonder if she perceives you. But swiftly, her piercing green eyes pass on, looking straight through you as if you were invisible. You recall the plaque. in the past, you will neither be seen nor heard. How extraordinary, you muse, to possess a front row view entirely unnoticed. With this realization, an internal tension eases. Your shoulders drop slightly, your limbs feel liberated and light. You follow the queen as she alights from her chariot and walks ahead. Only now do you truly absorb your surroundings. You stand atop a great excavated hill. A hill fort, precisely. An easily defended community settlement of Iron Age Britons. Scanning the panorama, you note much of the settlement is girdled by a high timber palisade, enhancing the inherent sense of security afforded by the elevated position. From this vantage point, you command a bird's-eye view of vast acres of lush, green countryside stretching beyond the wall. Immediately below the fort, cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs are penned within wooden fences, tended diligently by men and women. A large crop field is also visible, where numerous figures labor, guiding wooden plows pulled by massive, plodding oxen through the heavy soil, leaving straight furrows in their wake. Further off, a thin blue ribbon of water glimmers beneath the horizon. You must be on the eastern coast of Albion, the domain of the Coritani. That water, then, is the narrow sea, as the Romans termed the English Channel. Even from this distance, its rhythmic, tranquil waves seem to greet you like an old acquaintance. A salty, invigorating scent drifts on the air. For a moment, you are mesmerized, absorbing it all. Eventually, your focus shifts to life within the hill fort. Here, the air vibrates with the sounds of industrious hands and feet, punctuated by occasional conversation. Huts or roundhouses constructed with walls of earth, stone, and timber dot the landscape. Their roofs are conical, thatched with reeds. Some boast animal companions lounging contentedly on sun-drenched grass outside. Others feature vegetable patches, rows of cabbages and corn pushing skyward towards the patchy daylight. You wander into the settlement's heart, roundhouses flanking your path. The sounds of life intensify. People are everywhere, moving with convivial purpose, utterly oblivious to your spectral presence. Men wear tunics cinched at the waist with belts. Women are clad in floor-length dresses. Both drape themselves in tartan cloaks, invariably displaying the same shades and crisscross design worn by the queen, the very pattern that adorned the library cushions. You marvel at the quality and style of these textiles. The colors are so bright and vivid, the lines impeccably straight, the needlework seamless. And just as you ponder the creation of such material, you pass a group of women engaged in that precise activity. Near a roundhouse entrance, a young woman agitates woolen thread in a barrel brimming with liquid, producing a tranquil sound reminiscent of the narrow sea lapping the shore. Closer inspection reveals the liquid is an intense shade of blue. Standing over it, you catch the sweet fragrance of woad. Beside her, another woman stands at a wooden loom, threaded with already dyed fibers of green, white, red, and blue. Deftly, she draws the thread across, interlacing with expert dexterity and meticulous attention. It seems incredible that people 2 millennia past could produce such beautiful, flawless designs. You witness firsthand their resourcefulness, their talent, the peaceful diligence of their labor. Evidence of the tribe's hard work surrounds you in this ancient village. From the adjacent roundhouse emanates the clang hour of Iron Age tools. Following the sound, you enter the hut to find metalworkers. One heats a crucible of gold over a sizzling fire before pouring the molten liquid into a large circular mold. Beside him, another man flattens a strip of cooled gold with rhythmic hammer blows. A third undertakes the most intricate task, though his expression remains serene. Using iron and leather implements, he hammers flattened gold strips around a circular form, coaxing them into twists and turns. The culmination is stunning. A coiled golden neck ring, a torque necklace, fit for the Celtic elite. You've never encountered jewelry quite like it. Wandering onward, you pass more roundhouses, witnessing diverse scenes, both outside and within. Metalworkers fashion shields and swords, preparing for battle. Occasionally, children craft wooden slingshots, practicing their aim on nearby targets. An elderly woman sits cross-legged before a large pottery wheel, spinning it with a wooden stick. With wet hands, she smooths and caresses the clay at its center. Soon, the amorphous lump transforms into an elegant bowl. You watch her for some time, finding the peaceful activity strangely soothing. The air here is lovely, cool and refreshing, carrying a hint of something ambrosial. You follow the mouth-watering scent past dwellings until you arrive at a substantial, rounded hut. This particular roundhouse appears larger, grander than the others. The reason soon becomes apparent. This is the residence of the Celtic queen herself. Stepping inside, you find a warm, inviting space heated by a central fire pit. Thick plumes of smoke ascend, escaping through an aperture in the thatched roof above, leaving behind only the redolent aroma of cooking food. Luxurious furs line the floor. Reaching down, you note their incredible softness. More furs are arranged amongst mounds of golden straw. Bedding, you realize, for the warrior queen and her daughters. You see them now, seated around the fireplace. The queen ladles a fragrant meat stew from a cauldron suspended over the flames. Bowls are soon filled with succulent meats and fresh aromatic vegetables. You imagine taking a ladle, a bowl, helping yourself to a portion. You picture sitting upon the furs, ready to dine amongst the Celtic royal family. The stew you envision is brimming with colorful homegrown leeks and cabbage, parsnips, and carrots. You imagine taking a bite of the rich, hearty fare. The flavors dancing. Wild garlic, parsley. A meal evoking comfort, warmth, family, home. Beside you, Verica and her daughters savor the last mouthfuls before placing empty bowls on a low wooden table. They retrieve goblets of homemade mead, sipping blithely. The aroma is honey-sweet. The women converse merrily, sharing details of their day, faces illuminated by the fire's blaze. Verica wears a golden torque, even more magnificent than the one you saw being crafted. Countless bands are braided around its ornate, heavy base, the terminals decorated with intricate Celtic knots. Her vibrant blue war paint has been carefully cleansed. Her tartan cloak hangs upon the wall. The warrior queen appears even more striking bathed in the golden firelight. Her hair is a riot of fiery red curls. Her piercing eyes sparkle like polished emeralds. You sense the fearsome spirit within, yet also perceive a kindness, a tenderness previously unnoticed. She is undeniably the warrior queen, but here, in the sanctuary of her home, she is also a loving mother. The girls chatter happily about their day at the fort. Verica recounts adventures from further afield, her eyes shining like the swords and shields propped against the roundhouse walls, her words uplifting spirits. Listening quietly, you overhear her telling her daughters of her plan to meet with leaders of other local tribes, to persuade them to join the Koratani. Then, she declares matter-of-factly, stroking her eldest daughter's hair, she will defeat the Roman enemy, for her girls, for all her people. What a profound privilege, witnessing this intimate scene unfold. How relaxed and content you feel. Little do you suspect that nightfall holds further, gentler revelations. Observing the darkening sky through the smoke hole, Verica leads her daughters outside. They lie side by side on the nearby grass. Joining them, you gaze upward, mirroring their posture, into a night sky scintillating with stars. You know the Celts hold a deep veneration for the stars. You listen as they speak in hushed, soothing tones of the shifting patterns, the positions of constellations. Verica points towards the North Star. The destination, she explains, for Celtic souls in the afterlife, reached by ascending the twisting stellar stairway beneath it. Here upon the grass, the nighttime air cool against your face, you are utterly at peace. Allowing your eyes to drift closed, you notice again that lightness, that ethereal buoyancy. You are floating, transported through time and space, back to the archive where this journey commenced. The glass ceiling of the atrium now interposes itself between you and the star-dusted night. The green beneath you is no longer grass, but the plush, velvety cushions. Resting on a tartan cushion beside you lies your book, fallen open to a central illustration of the warrior queen and her daughters. You regard it with a faint smile, thinking it fails to capture her true essence. The living woman was far more impressive. Then, closing the book, you sink deeper into the soft cushions, allowing your thoughts to settle beside them. You drift away into a profound and dream-filled slumber. Parchment dry leaves shatter under your boots as you meander down the country lane. Ahead, a marker points toward your destination. Ember Hollow Farm, the name roughly hewn into timber and suspended from an old, sun-silvered wooden gate. Far beyond, forested peaks wear a tapestry woven in autumn's signature hues. Here, though, the earth lies flatter, a perfect cradle for pumpkins. Above, the sky stretches, a canvas of tender blue dappled with clouds like cotton batting. Your gaze drifts downward, snagging on a flawless maple leaf nestled among its brittle kin, a gift from the crimson and gold sentinel towering beside you. Stooping, you carefully pinch its stem. Held aloft against the sun's diffused radiance, its intricate architecture is a marvel. Unlike the desiccated foliage carpeting the ground, this leaf retains a supple quality, a whisper of moisture from its recent life among the branches. Too exquisite to abandon, you decide, tucking it gently into your satchel. A memento secured. As you approach the gate, a subtle current of air sighs past. You feel its coolness through the weave of your shirt, prompting you to cinch your fine wool scarf a fraction tighter, seeking warmth. The gate itself is held fast by a simple metal clasp. Sliding your thumb beneath, you lift. It protests with the rattles and groans of advanced age. A testament, you reflect, to the decades it has likely stood sentinel over this land. You ease the latch back down, securing the gate behind you. Turning, the air greets you with a sudden richness. The mingled perfume of sun-ripened pumpkins and the sharp sweetness of crisp apples. The pumpkin patch unfurls from a short dirt avenue flanked by tall, slender trees. Leaves in every shade of fire, scarlet, ochre, umber, russet, lie strewn across the pale earth track. Some crackle satisfyingly underfoot. Others, still yielding, offer only silence. You near a modest wooden kiosk, the point of entry. A woman sits within, offering a quiet welcome. Kind words are exchanged. A brief, pleasant transaction. You retrieve the necessary sum from your pocket, placing the cash into her waiting hand. Her smile is genuine as she unlatches a metal cash box with a distinct clink, handing you a paper ticket in return. You run your fingertips over its texture, turning it once or twice before sliding it safely into your pocket. Beyond the booth, the true expanse of Ember Hollow Farm reveals itself. Your eyes drink in the spectacle, gourds of myriad dimensions and palettes. Diminutive orange pie pumpkins nestle near the spectral allure of pale ghost pumpkins. You pause, admiring the stark beauty of these white orbs, their thick, dark stems like sturdy handles, their surfaces gleaming. How might they taste, you muse? Astringent or sugary? It has been some time since your last visit. The sheer variety offered by nature's artistry. The greens, the speckled yellows, even the party-colored specimens had almost faded from memory. Scanning the surroundings, you realize the patch offers more than just pumpkins. Your attention settles on a nearby barn, its white siding and black roof an echo of the ghost pumpkins themselves. Signposts advertise further diversions: a corn maze, an apple orchard, hay rides, a bonfire. An especially inviting corner hosts a vendor dispensing treats and warm beverages. A definite stop for later, you resolve. To your right, a large map is mounted on a wooden post. You trace the route to the apple orchard with a fingertip, committing the farm's general layout to memory. With the promise of a perfectly crisp, ruby apple beckoning, you set off towards the trees. For a time, you follow a narrow path bordered by whimsical displays, pumpkins painted with festive faces, autumnal decorations, and substantial bales of hay. It's a tranquil day at the farm, you observe. A scattering of families and small groups wander about, but the atmosphere is far from crowded. The prospect of a peaceful outing settles warmly within you. Soon, you arrive at the orchard. It's surprisingly intimate, comprising perhaps a dozen trees, yet each one is laden, dripping with plump, jewel-toned apples, and leaves still vibrantly green. Both fruit and foliage litter the faded grass beneath the branches. A delicate breeze whispers through the orchard, the crisp air brushing against your arms. Though swathed in a warm cardigan and scarf, the light wind finds the small interstices in the knit. Yet, bathed in the soft autumn sunlight, enveloped in wool, a profound sense of comfort settles over you. Wandering slowly among the trees, you witness a gleaming red apple detach itself from a branch just ahead. It tumbles, bouncing once before settling into a drift of leaves. Intrigued, you approach. Foliage rustles as you reach into the pile, retrieving the fruit. It feels solid and cool in your palm. Turning it over, you inspect its surface. Glossy, unblemished, perfectly ripe. This one, it seems, was destined for you. Exiting the orchard along another dusky path, you soon encounter a cluster of wooden signs pointing in various directions. One, marked with a bold arrow, proclaims, "Candied apples." Your initial plan for a simple, unadorned apple wavers. A new craving tingles at your senses. Fruit in hand, you follow the sign's directive. A minute or two of walking brings you to the promised booth. The stand offers freshly made candied and caramel apples, adorned with diverse toppings, alongside the appealing option to craft your own. After a brief chat with the relaxed farmer presiding over the stall, he presents you with a pointed wooden stick. Taking it carefully, you pierce the apple's base, guiding the stick firmly into its core. Assured of its stability, you slowly submerge the fruit into a vat of luscious, molten caramel. The scent of smoky, bubbling sugar ascends, enveloping you as the viscous, hot liquid cloaks the apple's skin. Your mouth waters in anticipation of the indulgence. For a final flourish, you roll the caramel-coated sphere in a waiting bed of chopped peanuts. Perfection, you think. Expressing gratitude to the farmer for his assistance, you turn away, heading back towards the main pumpkin patch. A pair of children, hands clasped, dash past you, their faces alight with eagerness for their own turn at apple alchemy. Presently, you spy a wooden bench, an inviting spot to pause and savor your creation. It emits a soft creak as you settle onto it, but feels sturdy beneath you. From this vantage point, a splendid panorama of the patch unfolds. A straw sentinel, clad in linen overalls, stands guard amidst a sea of hundreds of orange pumpkins, ranging from colossal to diminutive. Lowering your gaze to the caramel apple clutched in your hand, you rotate it slowly, admiring your handiwork. Its surface gleams, reflecting the gentle afternoon light and the solitary branch of a maple tree arching behind you. Raising it to your lips, you sink your teeth carefully into the sweet, yielding layers. The taste is every bit as delightful as memory promised. You linger on the bench, absorbing the pumpkin kingdom spread before you. In the distance, the rugged line of mountains meets the uneven horizon formed by the dense congregation of orange gourds. From this perspective, a chaotic tangle of curly and straight stems appears to prickle the skyline. The very air breathes autumn. Wisps of cinnamon and apple mingle with the richer, earthier fragrances of caramel and pumpkin spice. These scents intertwine with the damp perfume of fallen leaves, fertile soil, and dry straw. Every element of this moment conspires to create a feeling of warmth and profound coziness. The urge to select a pumpkin to take home stirs, but you decide to postpone the task. Carrying a hefty gourd seems premature when so much of the farm remains unexplored. For now, you simply contemplate the possibilities. Which shape, which size would be ideal? As you continue your survey of the patch, your eyes follow the movements of other visitors, families, couples, solitary wanderers, navigating the rows of vines and earth. Some pause to capture moments with cameras. Others are clearly on a quest for the quintessential orange squash. They bend low, examining potential candidates with expressions of focused curiosity. Small red wagons, fairy children clutching treasured pumpkins, while other visitors opt to carry their chosen gourds tucked securely under an arm. After some minutes of quiet contemplation, you rise from the creaking bench and resume your exploration, directing your steps towards the distinctive black and white barn you'd noted earlier. It lies just beyond the apple orchard you recently departed. Instead of retracing your path to the right, you opt for a route leading left. As the day matures, the breeze acquires a sharper edge. You fasten another button on your cardigan, cocooning yourself against the encroaching chill. Moving towards the barn, you notice a trio of crows wheeling through the air above, their calls sharp and conversational. You glance skyward, observing how the autumnal sun has begun its slow descent, its light softening towards dusk. Following another turn to the left, you arrive at the quaint barn, centrally located within the patch. It appears to serve as an informal hub for both the farm staff and visiting patrons. You observe one farmer, foot casually propped against the barn wall, deep in conversation with another. Periodically, both raise steaming mugs, cradled between their palms to their lips. One man is attired in loose overalls over a brown plaid shirt. The other wears blue jeans, a simple shirt tucked neatly at the waist. Both sport sturdy, comfortable-looking boots. Their shared laughter drifts on the air as they chat, clearly savoring their warm beverages and the moment. The soft susurrus of leaves fluttering in a nearby tree captures your attention. Turning, you witness a cascade of foliage detach itself, twirling and dancing in a brief aerial ballet before settling gently onto the grass. A few errant leaves are caught by the breeze and whisked towards the barn, drawing your gaze along with them. From the periphery of your vision, you become aware of horses. Standing within the confines of an unpainted picket fence, they graze with quiet industry. You watch their slow, methodical cropping of the grass, their jaws moving with contented rhythm. The sight brings a smile to your lips, and you pause for several minutes, admiring them from a respectful distance. One horse boasts a coat the color of rich chocolate, its mane a perfect match. Its companion is a study in golden brown, crowned with a flaxen mane. A sudden gust lifts the fine hairs of their manes, tossing them playfully. The horses shake their heads, clearing their vision before returning their focus to the pasture. Truly noble, majestic creatures, you reflect. Just then, another figure emerges from the rear of the barn, a woman. She begins to groom the chocolate-brown horse with long, soothing strokes, and the animal appears to relish the attention. Deciding it's time to move on, you leave the horses to their peaceful grooming and grazing. All around, the pumpkin patch hums with gentle activity. You spot a tractor pulling a wagon laden with hay bales. Families are assembling, anticipating a ride around the farm's perimeter. You recognize this as a quintessential pumpkin patch experience, and briefly entertain the idea of joining, imagining the crisp October air rushing past, the pleasant jostle of the ride. However, you opt to leave the current excursion to the waiting groups. As the wagon fills and trundles away, you find yourself momentarily alone near the barn. A surprising tranquility descends. It's little wonder, you think, that your mind feels so serene and unburdened here. A distinct crackling sound drifts towards you from the barn's far side. Recalling the map consulted earlier, you realize this must be the direction of the fire pit. You stroll towards the sound, noticing tendrils of smoke ascending as the crackling intensifies. You arrive at a circle formed by sections of cut logs, centered around a medium-sized bonfire glowing warmly within a ring of stones. The familiar, evocative aroma of burning wood instantly soothes your senses. Few things feel more intrinsically autumnal than a bonfire, you consider. The entrance to this enclave is marked by an archway constructed of rough-hewn wood, adorned with dried corn stalks. Twin hay bales flank the entrance, each topped with an artful arrangement of decorative squash. Passing through the arch, you admire the thoughtful details evident throughout the farm. Strands of fairy lights are strung overhead, forming a twinkling canopy above the fire pit area. Beneath this gentle illumination, sturdy hay bales and logs offer ample seating. To your right, a covered stall shelters vendors dispensing treats and warm beverages. The air temperature is noticeably cooler now as evening deepens, and the prospect of a hot drink feels undeniably appealing. You walk happily towards the covered area, drawn by an inviting cloud of cinnamon and spice aromas. The cheerful crackle of the bonfire remains audible behind you, providing the perfect auditory backdrop. A menu, handwritten on a chalkboard suspended from a wooden pillar, details the offerings: pumpkin spice hot chocolate, warm apple cider, coffee. After a moment's deliberation, you select the pumpkin spice hot chocolate. You are, after all, at a pumpkin patch. and the sign assures you their blend is homemade. Besides, the earthy, chocolate-infused fragrance already drifting towards you feels like a personal invitation. The attendant offers a friendly smile as he hands over your drink. It arrives in a dark green ceramic mug, charmingly painted with miniature pumpkins. You complete the transaction with thanks and a wave before turning away. Your gaze returns to the inviting bonfire. A wistful thought surfaces, the desire for such a fire pit in your own backyard. You picture yourself roasting marshmallows over the flames, watching them achieve that perfect balance of crisp exterior and molten interior. You envision gathering friends around on evenings like this, sharing ghost stories appropriate to the season, warmed by mugs of cider and tea. The lengthening nights would surely feel shorter in good company. Crossing the grass, you select one of the hay bales for a seat. Running your palm across its surface, you register the rough, dry texture, catching the faint, dusty scent beneath the dominant notes of the hot chocolate warming your hands. Taking a deep, slow breath, you feel a profound sense of relaxation wash over you. Bringing the mug closer, you inhale the delicious aroma more deeply before taking a generous sip of the pleasantly warm liquid. It spreads a comforting heat from the inside out. Closing your eyes, you consciously tune into your surroundings. The whisper and rustle of leaves in the maple and birch trees nearby. The companionable crackle of the fire beside you. The quintessential sense of autumn envelop you. A complex perfume woven from spice, fruit, wood smoke, earth, and decaying foliage. In this moment, enveloped by these sensations, you feel utterly at peace. As the sun dips below the horizon and twilight deepens into night, the fairy lights overhead seem to intensify their sparkle, and the bonfire radiates a more palpable warmth. It has been a truly beautiful day. Now, you simply sit, sipping your hot chocolate, appreciating the crispness of the season, the fire's embrace, the sighing of the breeze. Later, you will venture back into the patch to find that perfect pumpkin to carry home. And who knows, perhaps the idea of a backyard fire pit isn't merely a fleeting fancy. Maybe this season will see friends gathered, sharing homemade pumpkin pies and stories around a flickering blaze. It doesn't have to remain a dream, you tell yourself, allowing the pervasive atmosphere of this place to saturate your senses. You cradle the warm mug between both hands, utterly content, profoundly cozy. You sit, offering a silent thanks to the earth for the splendor of autumn, and for this wonderful day spent at Ember Hollow Farm.